you all for coming out today. It is said that injustice anywhere is a problem everywhere. I am Orvilisha Genus, and I am here today to tackle the injustices. Because just like Martin Luther King, I have a dream to ignite the faculty of law. The first thing on my manifesto today is to have what is called the Ignite Care initiative, where no student will be left behind. Right? It has come to my attention that some students are experiencing several challenges within the faculty. And my action plan is to ensure that I have what is called a care center where persons can come and get meals, snack, and hygiene essential products. For the females, I will lobby to ensure that you can get your sanitary napkins and things that you would need that are essential, the scholarships and so on. I will also bring awareness to these things. Another thing is, I realize that most of our classes as law students, they are online, right? So we are having internet challenges, right? Across the campus, yes, we have internet, but that is an issue, right? So what have Arvilisha come up with to solve this issue? I could have taken the route to say, all right, I'm going to go to the school and have them look into the Wi-Fi issue. But many before me have done that. So what am I going to do differently? This is my modium. I have brought it here to show you that this is something that if I win, law representative, I will ensure that it is top up and located at my office so you can come to the office and do your classes without having internet challenges. And if you ask Mr. Hewitt from the Western campus, he will tell you that students like Tony and Webb is always in the library and sometimes it's such an inconvenience for her. And so I will ensure that a modem is also sent to the Western campus so no student is going to be left behind. The next thing is I want to bring across is academic awareness to is academic fairness and accountability. Now this issue is pressing. The overload of assignments and unresponsive lectures and academic advisors and the limited space in the modules. How are you going to accept me into a module and then how are you going to accept me into a course and then tell me that you don't have enough space into a module? What kind of nonsense is this? Now this is what I am going to implement into this system to have this all taken care of. I am going to lobby that they hire more staff so that the courses that we are the course that we are accepted for is their space available there for us. Another thing is I'm going to ensure that these academic advisors don't just hold titles. They will have meetings with the assigned students every month. It is not just a title. Students need guidance. We're not supposed to just be out here left in the ocean for dead, right? The next thing I want to bring awareness to now is the administrative accountability. Now, students are tired of the poor communication between the administrative staff and the students. Recently, me specifically, and among other students, I was barred from the portal. Why am I barred from the portal? Why am I not able to select my modules? I didn't bring in certain documents. What? This was not communicated to me. So how was I supposed to know that? I ended up not being able to sit a course this semester. Where's the justice for me there? I need the administrative staff to be more communicative. And that is something that I am going to be lobbying for. Now, the next thing is, and one of the most important thing that is always overlooked, is the mental health and well-being of our students, right? So students need to be in the right frame of mind in order to get their job done. A lot of persons are having issues and they have come to me for several times. Persons are having suicidal thoughts and they're like, oh, Revelation, oh my, this is so and so and so. But the students, they don't have anybody to go to. So my next thing is I want to have this support group in the Faculty of Law, where persons can have a settings, we'll sign contracts where law students know, sign contracts where anything that you disclose in this safe space will not be held against you, and you can just come and just vent that out in that space. Now, the next thing that I will be lobbying for is reclaiming our own space. Nobody knows that that drawing room over there is ours. I mean, tell me, how many of you guys in this crowd today know that that drawing room over there is the property of the Faculty of Law? Not many students know that. A few might know that, but not many students know, because we are hardly given access to that room over there. You don't even see our posters there. More than one, 2 times when we're keeping events, we have to bring stuff over there. But it's like it's barred from us. So that is something that I definitely will be addressing, right? I will be ensuring that they know that, listen to me, that room is our room. Now, another thing is, I do not like the fact that when I am on the campus of law, I'm on the campus of UTech, persons don't know that I am a law student. What you mean you don't know that I'm a law student? Besides, persons can a few persons will look at you and say, oh, you look so lovely like a law student and stuff like that. But they don't know that, in general, persons don't know that you're a law student. So what I am going to be lobbying for is a uniform for our faculty. So, because we are one of the few faculties without a uniform. So I will ensure that that is something that is implemented. That is a dream that I have for the Faculty of Law. Now, another thing is I will be improving infrastructure. You go around the law office, the roof is falling off. The wall needs to be painted. The windows there's a hole in the window. It's dilapidated. It's in deplorable conditions, right? So what I did is the other day we had some sponsors and stuff on campus. I'm not even law rep as yet, but I ensured that I secured some paint from Sherwin Williams to ensure that I could paint the law office. So these are things that I will be ensuring that I get done. Now, another thing is, a lot of students are doing law and they're feeling shy. You're a law student. I am not going to let you feel like shyness is something that you will be feeding into. So I am going to network for leadership initiatives, right? No student is going to feel like, oh, if I go into leadership role, I'm going to be judged too harshly. No, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by recognizing my class representative. Class representatives are not given recognition. They're not rewarded for their hard work. Yes, I know we pay attention to the reps and whoever is on the union, but what about the wonderful class reps? What are we doing to motivate students who are looking onwards to take on those leadership positions? So these are a few things that I want to do, that I will be bringing to the faculty. Another thing is career development and networking. Now, my thing is, you're going into law. I don't think that you should only be friends with law students, right? You should be able to have friends outside of just law. And so what I will do is I will have events where persons from different faculty, different fields will come in and help build connections with the students, tell them what they can expect in the world. I will also host events where they help them in terms of building their CV, as well as I'm going to have interview workshops, how persons should conduct themselves in interviews. And also, I'm going to ensure that I create a law mentorship. So you went through, you're in second year. Why not ensure that you make a difference? Influence the first year students, create a leadership program, mentor them. Do not gatekeep materials, share it with the first year students. Third year you do the same, fourth year you do the same. And that is something that I want to develop within our community. And now this is something that I have a burning desire to fulfill, and that is scholarship and financial aid. Why is it that when I'm in several groups, I'm not seeing where law scholarships are being offered? Why is that an issue? Now, this is something that I definitely will be lobbying for. I will ensure that I reach out to the different brands and ask them, hey, can you help us there? If it's even a $50,000, a little goes a long way. Now, another thing now, besides our uniform, now I'm getting into it now, faculty recognition in the media. Other day I was coming on campus and a taxi driver is like, hold on, let me not even reach to what he was saying. He's like, I was in the taxi and I'm like, drop me around the faculty of law. He brought me to faculty of engine. And I'm like, this is not the faculty of law. Oh, you faculty of law? I didn't know UTech had a faculty of law. I'm like, yes, we do have a faculty of law. In fact, come on, take me around here. I had to let him bring me to all the way to the back of the school. Can you imagine? He didn't even know. So what am I going to do? I am going to ensure that that sign that is at the front of the campus that doesn't have the faculty of law name on it, that our name is on it. You know what? Daytime TVJ has a segment where students can, or anybody can go in and sit in the audience and they give you a little shout out. I will ensure that myself and the other students in the faculty, we get ourselves out there. We pop up at TVJ and so that they can give us our recognition. We write about the excellent things that are happening. Send it to the Observer. Have our name be known on a global setting, right? It shouldn't just be in our little small community here. It should be on a more global level. Now, my Western students, why is it that they feel so marginalized? As a matter of fact, I was a Western student. My first year, I was at the Western campus and I wanted to do more. I wanted to advocate more for my students, my fellow classmates. I wanted to advocate for them. What did I have to do in order to make the real change? I had to leave from Western campus and come to Papine. Because guess what? My voice is not really being heard and I want to be at the forefront where I want to be at the table where the decisions are being made. So my goal is to no longer have my Western students marginalized, right? They will no longer put up with that, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to ensure that there is transportation to lobby back and forth, good communication skills with the persons at the Western campus. And in fact, I am going to ensure that while I'm at the Papine, many students from the Western campus are a part of my representative body. Yes, we have a sub-council, but persons should be able to be a part and at the table of everything that is happening. And as a matter of fact, I am a working student as well. So persons are always like, why are the law students not coming to the event? Tell me, why aren't you guys coming to the event? We are working. Did you take the time out to ask us how our work schedule is? No. So that's another gap that I need to fulfill. I need to fill that in. I want to ask my colleagues, all right, I know you're working today, When is your day off? Should I keep the event this day, such and such? So I'm going to let those working persons' voices be heard. So those are the issues that I will be addressing for that is what I have in my manifesto. So this here is our time. If you want to see everything that I would have mentioned implemented, this is your time to no longer sit still, no longer be silent, no longer be invisible, no longer waiting for change. This is your time to take up space, right? Demand that the faculty, they take accountability and build a future that reflects our excellence. This to me really is more than a campaign. This is time for me to ignite have that dream that I have, just like Martin Luther, come through. Ignite the future with Genius. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Miss Ginas. And now the next Faculty of Law candidate, Miss Julika Lawson, will be presenting her plans, after which we will open the floor for question and answer.
Actor, non-verbal. Deeds, not words. Good afternoon, everyone, but a special good afternoon to my fellow Law Alliance. My name is Julika Lawson, and I am honored to stand before you as a candidate for the Faculty of Law Representative. Law school is more than just case readings and legal theories. It is a journey, one that shapes our future, challenges our limits, and pushes us to grow. But that journey should not feel isolating or overwhelming, but instead, it should be one filled with opportunity, support, and yes, a little fun along the way. That is why I am here, not just asking for your vote, but offering my services. I am ready to listen, to lead, and to advocate for the changes that will make our law school experience empowering and impactful. They brought opinions, but guess what? I brought receipts. I bring with me years of dedicated leadership. I proudly served as the student council president for approximately 2 years at my previous high school. Here at UTech, I have served as both the executive secretary and health and safety coordinator on the Faculty of Law Committee. They weren't just titles, they were responsibilities that required organization, initiative, and action. I have led meetings, addressed students' concerns, and coordinated real solutions. So I know the challenges we face, and I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm serving straight facts, no seasoning needed. Let's examine the first clause of this campaign, academic and administrative support. We've all experienced the frustration of trying to reach a lecturer or find basic information. To fix this, I will introduce Lecturers Connect, a centralized, student-accessible database with up-to-date lecturers' emails and office hours. Accessibility should never feel like a cross-examination. And for those of us who've received a B- and still wondering why, how, allow me to present Ask a Prof, no suit office hours. This initiative will remove the formal barriers between students, lecturers, creating a relaxed mentorship-driven setting where we can seek clarification without the stress of formality. Now allow me to move into career development, the foundation of our future practice. Legal theory is important, but so is networking. That's why I propose Legal Link Up, a professional mixture connecting students from UTech alumni and experienced legal professionals. Through career talks and first-hand insights, this initiative will expand our concerns. And to sharpen our legal minds, I'll introduce the legal debate and law challenge quiz, a competitive campus-wide challenge, meaning we're going to include both Western campus students and Papine campus students. And we might just put them against each other, because why not? So we're going to test advocacy, argumentation, and legal knowledge. But let's be real, law school isn't just books and case briefs. We deserve balance. So I present to you legal movie nights and the bar exam quiz, events designed to be light-hearted yet informative, allowing us to unwind while reinforcing our legal knowledge. You'll also see the return of Law King and Queen, featuring the Gavel Awards, where we celebrate our students' participation and resilience. Categories such as most likely to become a Supreme Judge will honor our growth in a fun and engaging way. I'm not here just to make plans. I intend to make history. Now let's address something that often gets overlooked: mental health. Law school is stressful. The deadlines, late nights, and pressure to perform take a toll. That is why I will implement mental health sessions featuring professionals who understand the unique challenges of law students. These aren't just generic talk. They are intentional, tailored sessions designed for us. I will also introduce legal wellness walks where students can step away from the books, engage in light exercise, nature walks, and wellness discussions, and reset in a refreshing, judgment-free space. Moving on to infrastructure improvements. Imagine a Faculty of Law shop right here on campus where you can grab a quick snack or drink between classes. Add to that a faculty mural, a symbol of identity and pride. These aren't just luxuries, they're investments in a student-friendly, vibrant learning environment. I will also push for regular town hall meetings, scholarship opportunities, and mentorship programs, because true representation means being present, being accountable, and building realistic solutions. So, Law Lions, I ask you, who do you want at the table? Someone with words or someone with deeds? I'm not here with promises. I'm here with experience, with action, with results. I will not leave you behind. So if you want a representative who listens, who delivers, and who transforms, then vote Julika Lawsuit for Faculty of Law representative. Because together, we're advancing careers and motivating innovation, because we deserve nothing less. Together, well, Judgment Day is coming, so choose wisely. And remember, I am the verdict, and the gavel, it drops with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Lawson. And we are just going to pause to acknowledge our panelists this evening. We have Dr. Dimitri McGregor, who is a past president of the UTech Students Union Council, as well as Miss Janelle Gordon, who is a sitting president's advisor. We also welcome those who are online in the online space. Welcome to you all. We invite both candidates back on stage as we open the floor for panelists to ask questions. Miss Lawson and Miss Ginas.
Good afternoon, candidates. Good afternoon to the audience. My first question to you both is, why did you guys put yourself up for this position in one sentence? Starting with Miss Lawson.
I put myself in this position because really and truly, ever since I was born, I can proudly say that I have always been an advocate for people. I feel compassionate ever since I've seen injustice. I hate it so much, and I am just so passionate in improving our faculty.
Miss Ginas.
At the beginning of my speech about my manifesto, I said injustice everywhere, anywhere is a problem everywhere. And because I do not want to see just injustice and have it just being there, I developed the passion to ensure that I am a part of the I am at the forefront at the seat at the table where the decisions are being made. And so I realized that the position of law rep will allow me to do that, and so that is why I went for it.
All right, Miss Genus, uh, you mentioned initiatives that you want to do. What are the current initiatives by the law rep that you are planning to continue?
The current initiative that the law rep would have done is the first year link up, and I intend to continue that because a lot of first year students, as I would say, they come in and they need guidance, especially from like the persons in a bigger year, and a lot of them would have reached out to me as well, and I would have provided them with material and stuff like that. And so that is an initiative that I just want to continue with.
We're going to stay with you. All right, next question. You mentioned that there will be an increase in staffing, or you'll be advocating for that. How will you ensure that the university fulfill this mandate if they say that they lack funding for this?
That is a great question. And in fact, as Miss UTech, I do have a meeting with the president soon, and it is an issue that I will be raising to have sponsorship so that we are able to afford new lecturers. So that is something, that is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to advocate for sponsorship.
All right, thank you. For you also mentioned uniformed. Did you conduct a feasibility study for this? Do you think the students really want a uniform for law, for the Faculty of Law?
It's not a matter of what I think, it's what I know and the concerns that students would have raised with me. Feasibility study, yes, maybe not on paper, but I have done it. Persons are like, Orvelisha, when I'm supposed to come on campus, I don't know how to find an outfit. I don't have it. As a law student, I have to dress appropriately, but I cannot afford it. So I said, you know what? I believe a uniform would be a great initiative. And they're like, yes, because even if I have one suit of uniform, this is something that I can always just wash and wear, and it's less cost effective on me. So, yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Just a follow up for that question.
Yes, sir.
Are uniforms something that obtains globally for law schools across the region and also globally?
When you say globally, how do you mean?
So, all right, there are certain law schools in the Caribbean. There's more than one law school in Jamaica. So I'm saying, are uniforms something that obtains? Is it something that you see that is there regularly in other schools? Is it a trend that is there in other schools?
It is not a trend because if you really look at the UE students, they don't have a uniform, right? So it's nothing wrong with us being set apart. We are a cut above the rest.
Understood. And that is not the question asked, but I'm saying I don't think the UE student have the issue right now because if you say drop me over UE law, someone will drop you over
Yes.
UE law.
Yes.
They don't wear uniform.
Yes.
So I'm saying, do you think the root of the problem is uniform?
It is not the root of the problem. So thank you for asking a question. It's not the root of the problem. However, we are finding ways to eliminate the problem, and implementing a uniform is a part of the solution. And like I said, I want us to be a cut above the rest. So while UE is recognized without a uniform, and that is excellent, UTech law students, we want to be set apart. We want our faculty to be recognized, and so a uniform is something that we would push to implement.
Okay, noted. You can continue.
All right, my final question to you is how will you balance work life and the responsibilities that come with the Students' Union?
Thank you. That is something that I have been doing since my first year. I do work and I do attend school. How do I do this? I create a timetable. And I do have my work schedule around my school hours. So I'm never burnt out because I ensure that I am disciplined and I follow that timetable that I have.
All right, let me rephrase. I'm asking, how are you going to manage work and the Students' Union Council? Because we have meetings some irregular time, there are responsibilities for you to even leave your class and go to meetings or any other activities. How will you balance that?
I balance that by having a timetable. So I look at my work hours, see when the meetings are, and then I work around that.
Okay, thank you, Miss Lawson.
You're welcome.
You mentioned mental health professionals. Who will fund that? Where will they be stationed? Will it be face-to-face or online sessions?
Thank you for that question. Well, I believe that to cater for law students, it is best to do the events online mostly, depending on what the events are. I have held that a mental health session event before and it was online. As it relates to getting professionals, I will be reaching out to doctors. I have also been in contact with a few before and I'm pretty sure that they will attend because they seem motivated to reach out and assist law students mentally, because we know that nobody wants a lawyer or an attorney who does not have good mental capacity, right? So that is a step that I am willing to take. As I said before, I have reached out to many, and it's an initiative that I have done before, and I will do it again. Thank you.
How will you fund the law shop?
The law shop, well, I am aware that the students union, they typically provide funds, so we can use some of that funds and invest it or basically flip it. I myself am willing to contribute to the faculty of law shop, as well as other law students, because I have been in contact with a few, as well as seeking sponsorships.
My final question to you, what scholarship offerings are there now within this university or externally?
In order to fully answer that question, I would have to reevaluate, because typically the sponsorship programs are in the Gleaner, right? That's where I would have looked for them, because as my opponent would have mentioned, law students don't get much support as it relates to sponsorships. So you have to reach out and look into the Gleaners, because I rarely see any scholarship or grants opportunities for law students.
All right. So are you aware that there's a scholarship office on campus?
Yes, it is.
Have you checked there to see if there are any scholarship offerings?
Well, based on Miss Abigail's tenure, I would have seen her sent a few grants and scholarships in the group, but it is limited, really and truly. I have applied, a lot of persons have applied, we heard nothing back. It's almost impossible to say that you have met one law student, or let me not just say one, but 10 law students who have gotten assistance from that, because really and truly there's no response. So I'm not going to say yes, I'm not going to say no.
Are you aware that there's a scholarship for the Faculty of Law from the Students' Union?
Well, if there was, I'm pretty sure that we would have seen that in Miss Abigail's tenure, but we have not. So what is the issue here? Because I'm pretty sure it was on her manifesto as well. I have spoken to her personally, and she had intentions to fund that, to implement that, but what has happened, we don't know. So we would have to reach out to the students union for that. But if I am in place, I will see to it that that will happen.
All right, so there is a scholarship offering for the Faculty of Law. It's 100,000 for the Faculty of Law, a student from the Faculty of Law.
Well, thank you for that.
All right, thank you guys. No, don't.
Not finished. I haven't started asking the question yet.
Okay.
Um, Let me first say I commend both of you guys for vying for position because I can see the passion, I can see that you care. And I've been here for years to see that there have been years where no person from law is vying for a representative. So I must commend you guys for stepping forward. That is the first step, and that is important, right? I'm also an advocate for someone who not just talk the talk, but walk the walk, right? And this election is not about voting for your friends and not about voting for persons who you like. Because a lot of the times you do that and the same persons don't do anything. The year is over and nothing has been done. I would like to ask you, Miss
Genus,
Ginas,
yes.
what what are any other leadership roles that you've taken on prior to this?
I have been in the role of leadership since basic school.
Fine.
So class monitor in basic school, prefect and deputy head girl in my primary school, in high school, peer tutor, and then further in sixth form, senior prefect and member of student council, right up until I was in university, my first year. And let's backtrack a little bit. I used to work before, and I was also promoted when I was working at a call center to, be a part of a higher department. So, and then now when I came here, before I joined the executive body for the Faculty of Law, I put up myself out there to serve as class representative from my first year, first semester. So I've always been in leadership roles.
All right. So you've led a team before
Yes, I have.
because all right. So since high school and now, where have you led a team? You told me prefect. Prefect is not leading a team.
All right, so I am also a 2016 female ambassador at the Seventh Day Adventist
Okay.
Church. So I lead a group of young female and even young males as well, on the right path. So we would keep meetings and just be in touch if they need somebody to talk to and so on. I am that person. Maybe you're having issues with your parents, you want somebody to talk. In terms of that, I am that person.
Okay. Mr. Lawson, same question.
Well, we've always heard the terminology that not all heroes wear cape, right? So I won't say that I've always been in leadership role because truly I have always been a shy girl, especially through primary school, high school. It was since I took the risk of vying for the position of student council president, I would have said, wow, okay, yes, I've always wanted to be involved in leadership role, but I was scared. I was scared to speak and just talk, right? So what I would have done, yes, I would have taken steps to speak to my peers privately and say, yes, man, do this, do that, as guidance, until I finally took the step to ensure that I have a title. And with that title, I would have assisted my past high school, Lakova High School, and there's another student here that can attest to what I am saying. That I've always been an ambassador, especially because a lot of students would have, well, from other schools would have looked down on that high school, and I would have ensured that I would be a proper ambassador for that school. And it's the same thing I intend to do with the Faculty of Law because they tend to compare UE and UTech a lot, and I experience the same thing that I experienced with Lakova High School. I am experiencing it here. And I intend to ensure that the Faculty of Law will be more involved. We will be more in unity and all of that. And we can't, as I said before, first year health and safety coordinator, because I intend to make strategic steps to ensure that I can be in this position to properly build and improve our faculty.
Fine. Good. Miss Ginas, can contest it. So I remember in the beginning of your speech you're stating that you want to ensure to inform students regarding scholarships and understanding, and then the university. A lot of the communication is not being, is not being done, right? as regards to. So I want to know now, as someone that is going for the position and want to improve that, could you tell me where in the campus is the scholarship department located?
Yes, I am able to tell you.
Where?
I have been there myself.
Fine, where is
So
it?
it's around near to the back gate there.
Okay.
Yes, and yeah, I've been there myself. I applied not too long ago for the UTech Foundation scholarship. So
Fine, no
I've
problem.
been
Good.
there.
Um, say a student selected a module and wanted to get it dropped, right? Talk me through the process. How would a student go about that? How would you help them?
All right. So the first question that I'm going to ask that student is I'm gonna, of course, have a conversation to ensure that it's something that they really want to do. But then I'm gonna ask, is it within the first 10 days, depending if it's the first or second semester, or if is it within the first 5 days during the summer period? So it all
Very
depends
good.
on the time. And then no, I will ensure that, hey, have you been registered? Because that is key. If you're not registered, then you cannot use the add or drop. So I will ensure that that is done. And once that is done, I will say, all right, so you're going to go on the add or drop portal. You're going to go on the portal, and then you're going to select the course. And then once you do that, you submit. You will have to wait. What you can do, if you're feeling a little anxious, you can reach out to Miss Nicole Thomas, sorry, and she will guide you along the way, because that's something that I would have done, not drop but add, and so I'm quite familiar with the
No
process.
problem, no problem. Miss Lawson, Miss Gina stated that you have to be registered, right? What's the difference between an enrolled student and a registered student? So if a student is enrolled and a student is registered, what's the difference?
All right, so the difference would be where, well, as for register, you would have taken like the necessary steps to basically have your name implemented at the university, right? But to be enrolled, you have to complete the 10-step process, which is on the eVision website. So you would go on the eVision website and you would see it there.
So you're saying that you can be registered but not enrolled?
Well, not necessarily. It's just like a step by step process, because I believe when I first came to UTech, I would have had like my name and everything. I would have had my school account. However, it's another step to take the step by step process, which is the basically this 10-step process.
No problem. All right, I implore you guys to just check out the handbook as if you're going to be representative, to ensure that when you're giving student information, you're giving them the right information, right? My last question, but it's to both. You know that when you're at law school at UTech, right?
Yes.
You don't automatically get into the Norman Manley Law School, right? I want both of you to tell me your opinion on that, and what would you do, or do you think could be done to rectify or address it in any way?
Well, thank you for that question. It's a bit complex, but I will try
It
to.
is.
Yes, it is very.
Just give me your
But
opinion, though.
right. So my opinion is that really and truly, I'm not a person who likes to be comfortable. No, no offense to the UE law students. However, with the automatic entry, you are too comfortable, right? And when you are too comfortable knowing that, all right, I can have a 2.0 GPA and I'm still going to Norman Manley, how will you have effective attorneys in the working field, right? But us law students, even our first class honors are it's very much higher than compared to UE students. So we have to work, we have to earn, we have to blood, sweat, tears, all of those things in order to fully understand and comprehend the knowledge. So really and truly, it might suck, but I do not have a problem with it, because I want us to be good attorneys in the legal field. I want us, if somebody to ask you about actus reus and mens rea, I want you to be able to fully comprehend and answer your clients, right? However, if you are too comfortable and you go into the working field, somebody asks you, oh, what about this, what about that? You're unable to answer. You have to go into the textbook, and nothing is wrong with going into the textbook sometimes, but as an attorney, sometimes you just meet somebody and they have an issue. I have experienced that in a taxi, and the taxi driver was telling me his issues, both in real property, criminal law, all of those stuff. So sometimes you will have to just be able to know your legal knowledge and answer on the spot, but you would not be able to do that if you're too comfortable.
All right, understand.
Okay.
So,
How to
so you
implement
are
that.
aware, you are aware that if there's 80 spots and 70 people from over you are doing law, the only 10 will be available, not to UTech, but to UTech, to NCU, to UCC, and you're okay with, say, 40 of you guys fighting for 10 position, and then everybody else have to wait 2-3 years to get into normal money law school. You're okay with that?
Well, what I'm saying is that I am okay with not always being comfortable.
Okay.
Right? I remember seeing in a group chat where there was a student, because it all has to do with dedication, perseverance, right? There was a UTech student who, she graduated, she did law here, but she would have gotten basically denied from Norman Manley. That's hard, that's sad. You have invested so many money, right? But her dedication, because I guess she did not wait long enough, she started UA Law, and in her first year she got accepted at Norman Manley Law School, right? Mr. Matthew Hyatt, who was also, well, he's an attorney now, he applied around approximately 4 times. I think his fourth time, don't quote me by that, but his third or fourth time he got through, because what, it has to do with dedication. You cannot just get a case and say, oh my god, it's difficult. You have to continuously persevere if you truly want it. So I am comfortable with it, because nothing in life comes easy. Norman Manley doesn't come easy,
Okay.
right?
All right.
So you can say that I am comfortable with it.
Okay.
Yes.
As I've been saying since the beginning, injustice anywhere is a problem everywhere. I am not comfortable with the stipulation that the Norman Manley Law School have. I am not. And so I am going to ensure that we take up space. We are not going to be marginalized by anything that they think is best, right? I mean, you're telling me because I probably have a bad year, my mom died, or something bad happened, and my GPA falls, I'm not going to be able to get into Norman Manley Law School after I have sacrificed. I've slept on campus many nights. I've been at the drawing room, and there's this one thing happen and it throw me off balance, and I am not accepted after spending so much money. I'm thrown off course. No.
Yeah, let me just say though, even if you get a perfect GPA, you can still not get in. Because as I told her, it's 10 people, 10 space for like 100 and odd students. So you could get say a 4.2 GPA and still don't get in. So that is my problem, and that is what I was saying to her. Right? She told me the attorney Ayat, who got in, did it 4 times. I can tell you maybe he's a very good attorney, but he had to do it 4 times, and I'm thinking 4 times over here, and the person over there can know nothing and get in. Do you think that is fair? And that's what I'm asking you, and you say you're okay with that. I can understand when you're saying that you're not okay with that, but that's my opinion. So I wanted to know your opinion. So you're saying you're not okay with it.
I'm not okay with it.
Continue.
And just another thing that I want to point out, I am a person that I will go to TVJ. I will bring it to the Observer. I am that type of person. And let me tell you something. If you do not want to adjust those rules, let us have our own law school. As the previous representative, Denmark would have been lobbying for, that is something that I personally will ensure that I lobby for. So that's just my take on it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. People want to ask questions.
All right, thank you to the panelists. We will now allow students that are present to ask their questions, and then we'll be taking questions from the online chat. So the mic will be passed around. You can go ahead.
All right, so good evening, everyone. How
Come
we
to
feeling in the crowd? We feeling excited? All right, so I have two questions actually for both candidates. Um, as you know, your representative's motto was making history with ability. So I want to know if you will be retaining events that your representative had done during her tenure, and what is one thing that your representative did wrong that you wish to change during your tenure? Both candidates can answer. Miss Gina or Valicia, you can go first.
Oh dear, Abby, you've done so many wonderful things, and you're probably gonna be so upset. Abby, you're gonna be a little bit upset
No,
with
man, be
me.
honest. I want you to make the change. So go on.
So you haven't done anything wrong, but I wanted to host the first Law Challenge quiz, which would have been a landmark, a groundbreaking event, something that will be held every year. We would have a trophy that is handed down from one person to the next. I wanted to do that, and it wasn't something that went through, and so that is something that I hope I can implement going forward. Everything else you've done exceptional. It's just that one little thing. You know, I was saying, oh, Abby, I really want that to happen. So that is something that I will continue. And I heard my opponent here saying that she wants to continue it as well. So that's it.
Okay, next.
No, Miss Brown, you have indeed made history. Really and truly, your plans would have, gone to fruition, and I have to congratulate you on that, and I certainly look up to you for that. I really think, I am confident that I would want to um, implement the first year link up. My opponent here would have said that before, because really and truly, in many ways, we were able to connect and interact with many attorneys who are still involved in our lives. We would communicate with them, ask them for assistance, and they are still present. So I'm happy for that opportunity, and I'm pretty sure other law students are happy for that opportunity to speak and be able to network with other attorneys. A problem or what you would have done wrong, and I wouldn't say you have done it wrong, but I would like to improve on communicating with the law students more. Thank you so much. Yes, so as I was saying, I would want to communicate with the law students more and to hear what they want, right? So in case they want more events, right? So events would have been held where, yes, there are towards the law students, but we want to hear from the law students. We want to conduct more polls. What do you want, right? What are the events? What do you want to see? Why are you not participating? Yes, some people may be working, but in order to effectively communicate with those working people, we can always attain to them and make schedules that fit their times and their availability. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Congratulations again, both ladies. So my first question would be to Miss Ginas. Being the newly crowned Miss UTech, how do you think that's a great avenue to promote the visibility of law students? And if yes, how would you do that?
All right, so I did address that in my speech while giving my manifesto. I do have an upcoming meeting with the president, and some things that I have put in a document is that I am going to start by having our signs fixed out at the front. I didn't say this, but I did also ensure that I'm going to have signs put up in the drawing room, have murals, paint a mural in there because, you know, the arts persons, they have murals and stuff which brings visibility to them. And not only that, when I go on the university page, I see a lot of persons from different faculties, but I don't really see them on the university page itself. And so I'm going to lobby that our accomplishments are also shared on the university's page, so persons outside of the faculty can see that law students are taking up space and just making moves.
Very well. Thanks for your answer on that question. Now, my question to Miss Lawson. How would you get persons to support the Law Shop initiative?
Well, I am aware that the law faculty, they are moving towards having hybrid classes, right? So we can always promote, because promotion has a lot to do with it, right? So we can always promote the youth that, okay, you can study by our gazebo, right? And while doing that, since Juicy Patties is very far, right? And the business admin, it's very far, so you're unable to get water and all of those stuff. Plenty times we are around by the faculty and we don't have water. We have to walk. We're already thirsty and we have to walk so far to get a drink of water, and that there is just, it's just not right, right? So I believe, and I have spoken to a lot of law students about it, and they are in support. So I must need say no more, really and truly. As well as, oh, let me just add to this. The initiative is not just to say for law students, but other persons who are around by the faculty, because we're aware that there are other students that are not law students around by the faculty. So that in itself is just to increase funding so we can support other events and initiatives such as the scholarships and so on. Thank you.
All right. So question from YouTube to Miss Ginas. So when you're answering, because we're current for time, we're going to ask you to keep your responses as short as possible. If it's a yes or no, just yes or no, move on. All right? So the question to you, Miss Ginas, who will fund these law uniforms? Are you proposing that it be added to their tuition or as a separate fee?
No. If you know me, I am a person that does tag drive. I do that a lot. And so I will be doing my tag drives, as well as I will be reaching out to these big brands and asking them for funding.
All right. The next question is also for you. How can the students be assured you won't resign from the position when things aren't going your way, just like you did for the community service coordinator role on the sub-council?
I don't know where that information would have come from, that I resigned because things aren't going my way. I resigned at the time because during that segment I was in the I was in the Festival Queen competition, and so it was a bit demanding at the time, and I tried to communicate that, and nobody seemed to have been hearing my voice. So what did I do? Instead of coming out of character, I stepped down and I ensured that I did not come out of leadership position. I moved and I ensured that I joined the Faculty of Law Committee, where I could still have a seat at the table and still advocate for my peer. So I'm not one to hit persons when I'm down, and I don't agree with persons who do that. So to the person that is spreading that information, please do not do that and get the facts straight. Thank you.
Get the facts straight.
All right, thank you to the Faculty of Law candidates. You can leave the stage. Yes. All right, our next candidate that we'll be presenting is Miss Najwa Lambert from the Faculty of Education and Liberal Studies. Immediately following this, we will have our panelists asking their questions. Welcome her to the stage.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Najwa Lambert, and I'm honored to stand before you today as a candidate for fellow students representative for the academic year. I have proudly served as youth parliamentarian for 2024, and I am a dedicated youth advocate. These roles have allowed me to use my voice to speak up for young people, influence change, and learn what it means to present others with purpose. Through charity work and community outreach, I have developed a deep love for service. Through charity work and community outreach, I've developed a love for service, and that's the same passion that pushes me to want to serve you, the students of Phils. I'm currently a third year media and communication student, and like many of you, navigating my final year in 2025 to 2026. What just started as a last minute idea, something to do before I graduated, quickly turned into something I felt that I could deeply do. This is my first time stepping into a leadership position at UTech, and while I admit I am nervous, but I think that I'm more than ready. I also believe that leadership is not about having all the answers. It's about showing up, learning as I go along, and being willing to listen and act. If elected as your fellow students representative, here's what I plan to bring to the table. My mission is to be a visible, approachable, and accountable voice for fellow students, to build a stronger student facility communication and advocate for student concerns, to help create a more engaged, supported, and unified faculty community. My key goals is to make sure that we have effective communication, which in doing so, I plan to launch a FELS feedback forum so students can submit concerns anonymously and receive real updates. I will also use other platforms like email newsletters to keep you informed and involved. Also, as it pertains to academic support, I will definitely be pushing for more accessible resources such as peer tutoring, study groups, and exam prep sessions, as students need to feel supported academically and not overwhelmed. As it pertains to student engagements and events, I would love to organize events that reflect our creativity, from student talent showcases to faculty mixers and mental wellness days. Also to introduce the FEL Student Spotlight to celebrate our peers doing great things. As you know, I will be attending all meetings, following up on your concerns, and report back regularly to let you know what's being done as students. I'm not running for this position just for the title. I'm running because I care. Because seeing what youth leadership can do when it's driven by heart and purpose. Because I want to help to create a year that isn't just about surviving, but about thriving together. So today, I ask for your support, not just from me, but the vision of FELS, where every student feels heard, valued, and supported. Thank you.
No, go on, man. Always go on. Warm them up.
All right. Thank you for putting yourself forward as the sole candidate in this portfolio. My first question to you, you mentioned youth parliament. What did you do during your time as a youth parliamentarian?
So during the year 2024, as the County of Middlesex, we had to organize a treat that we had in St. Anne, which was garnered towards mental health of youth. So that's one thing that we did during our constituency year.
All right. What's the main issue that the faculty or students within that faculty are experiencing, and how do you plan to address that?
All right. So as it pertains to issues that we're having, I have asked a few students and lecturers. So the issue that they're having is that between both schools, they don't have a very strong relationship. So something that I plan to do in order to build that relationship during faculty meetings is to make sure that the concerns of other students are heard, both lecturers and students, between both schools.
All right. What is readmission, and how And or what category of students can apply for readmission?
Okay, so readmission is when after you've been admitted, you reapply to be admitted once more. Category of students as in first.
Under what circumstances can you reapply or apply to be readmitted?
If you have any health issues, if there's a serious issue, or if you're not ready to start that school year, that is something that would count as a specific reason.
All right. When you're through, read the handbook.
I read it, I just don't remember.
Okay, fine. Very
I
honest.
actually read it.
Very
I read it,
honest.
but
Very
I
honest.
really and truly do not remember.
Very honest. No problem. No problems with that. It will take time. Apart from youth parliamentarian, what other leadership role have you held?
None.
None.
No.
All right. So, what makes you the perfect person for the post then?
I'm not the perfect person for the post. But I'm willing to do the work and learn over time to be ready for the post.
Okay. Good. Good. I see where you're talking about trying to to do better communication between faculty and students, right? And it is for that I'm just going to ask you for certain persons. I just want to tell me the names. So do you know who the dean of the faculty is?
So I don't remember.
Don't remember.
Let me be honest. I studied all of this between the last week and today. And make I be honest with you, I don't remember.
The dean, Miss Lambert?
Yes. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I know.
Alright.
I know, but I just don't remember.
Who is the president of the university? Alright, no further questions.
All right. No, just a minute. Now we'll be taking questions from students in the audience, and if there's any online. There are no questions? Okay, thank you, Miss Lambert. All right, so the next candidate that we'll be hearing from is Miss Nicole Clark from the Joint Colleges. Please make her welcome.
Esteemed judges, fellow students, and candidates, good afternoon. What does every great leader have in common? Hatshepsut, Mandela, Sam Sharp, whether it was the death of the pharaoh or the 1,000 black bodies in the sun, each great leader has one common thread: a sudden transformative moment or a series of life-altering experiences which ignited their passion for leadership and propelled them to make a difference. I don't know what they called it. Some Ronaldo fans might call it El Click, but I call it a spark. A spark is the beginning of every great movement, every bold idea, and every strong leader. My name is Nicole Clark, and I believe we all have a spark to ignite within us. A spark that will drive you to make lasting impact on those around you. We're just waiting for the right matchbox. I stand before you, ready to serve as your Joint College's students' representative, and it is my goal to leave an impact on all Crocs and the university community. The Joint Colleges faces real challenges: lack of student engagement and patriotism, unreliable transportation to the campuses, no recognition for our academic achievements, and paramount among these is, ironically, the profound disjointedness within the college. these issues are but opportunities for transformation. First, we must implement changes across campuses that mitigate feelings of isolation experienced by our students. Me no go UTech, me go dental school. A quote I've heard from so many students. Though it is said in jest, it is an unfiltered display of how disconnected students can feel at satellite campuses. Implementing social events like monthly Crocs Games Day while we rotate the location between Slight Pen Road and Arthur Wint Drive will give students the opportunity to spend time at both campuses and get to know each other, not only by location or uniform, but by name. I will introduce Joint College's merchandise like jerseys, hats, and wristbands to inspire our Crocs to be more patriotic, to foster true inclusivity and increase the visibility of our brand. Second, we must make our students more marketable. A degree or certification is important, and while UTech makes us work-ready graduates, we must learn skills that allow us to make connections and be successful in the world we'll be joining when we leave this institution. I will introduce workshops and seminars that give students the opportunity to network, enhance professional and practical skills, such as public speaking and financial literacy, to ensure all Crocs leave with a competitive edge to go with their degree, certification, diploma, and all that knowledge. Third, we must provide support. Students need access to mental health resources such as workshops and self-assessment tools. They also need improved access to academic advising, a system that is failing our students at the joint colleges. This will include an academic advisement sensitization session in collaboration with the academic advisement coordinator, who happens to be sitting on our panel this evening. I will also be ameliorating the Big Brother, Big Sister, Little Brother, Little Sister mentorship program within the College of Oral Health Sciences and expand the model to include the School of Public Health and Health Technology. This program aims to pair students with an upper year for guidance, academic resources, advice, and friendship, so the lower year students will have someone to lean on when needed. In addition to this, I will be implementing meet and greets so that the students get the opportunity to familiarize themselves with their big brothers, big sisters, little brothers, and little sisters. We will revamp our social media platforms to ensure that no one is left in the dark about events, opportunities, and resources available to them. Our joint colleges Crocs need to send a message to the rest of the university. We are here. We will be seen. We will no longer go unnoticed. Fourth, I will advocate for accountability from the university regarding the unreliability of the bus system. Getting to school on time should not be a gamble. Picture this. It's 7:47 a.m. on a rainy Monday morning at the Papine campus. You have an exam at 8:30 a.m. at the Arthur Wint campus. The bus that was supposed to leave the roundabout at 7:30 a.m. is late, as usual. But you've just been informed that it will not be coming, and there are no other drivers to take you to school. Now you have to scramble to charter a taxi and use the 8 bills out of the 2 grand you just put on for buy your Pro Box to go to school to do your exam. We have students at the joint colleges that are paying upwards of $2.5 million per year in tuition alone. And we are expected to go and pull money out of our pockets so that we can get to school at our satellite campuses. It cannot work and it cannot continue. I will input feedback forms for our students to complete every single time they have a grievance with the transportation system. Every single time a driver has been disrespectful to you. Every single time you've been late for your classes, late for your exams. You can submit these forms and you will be hearing from us. These forms will be submitted to the college board as well as the supervisors of the bus drivers, because somebody needs to be held accountable for the failings of the university bus system. Additionally, our hardworking Crocs must be recognized for their academic achievements, and I am happy to announce that the College Board has accepted the motion for an inaugural Dean's List so our students can be duly rewarded for their outstanding performances. Fifth, we need greater student-faculty dialogue. Crocs, your concerns matter. JCOL is the most underserved and underrepresented college. Facilities that are in disrepair must be fixed. Students need a space to voice their concerns and know that they are not being ignored. This is why I will reintroduce semesterly town halls where students can speak up to and the administration must listen. Communication should not be a privilege, ladies and gentlemen. It should be a standard. Finally, we must embrace teamwork. A stronger college starts with a stronger community. From a joint colleges sports day to a student-led Labor Day beautification project, we will work together to uplift our college, because pride and patriotism in our community starts with us. And to you, my fellow Crocs, not dwell in the dark, ignite the spark, and vote Nicole Clark for your student's representative. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Nicole. My first question to you is, up until election period, you were the acting rep. What advocacy or initiative, what advocacy or discussion did you undertake to ensure that the bus system is addressed?
That's a great question, Ms. Gordon. Firstly, the bus system issues have been something that I've been tackling since I was appointed as acting joint colleges rep in January. Dr. McGregor can attest to my lobbying for these issues during the joint colleges board meetings. I have advocated for the air conditioning on the School of Public Health buses to be fixed. Unfortunately, I've been told that that is not a priority for the university and that they might look into it at the next servicing of the buses. Separate and apart from that, there have been some issues in scheduling of the buses. There were some students from the public health who had a class ending at 4:30 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, and the last bus from public health to main campus was at 12:30, so they would not have had an opportunity to come to the main campus without taking money out of their pockets. So I'm sorry. So these are just a few examples of how I've been advocating for the bus system.
Yes, yes, I can attest that you have been advocating. And you know as well that I have also been advocating for that issue, because I think it's a very important issue. Students should not be disenfranchised by not being on the main campus. You didn't choose that,
Yeah.
right? And if it is that at any point you need to go to the health center, there should be transportation for that.
There should.
If any other student want to walk into Burger King, they can. You can't do that. So if you want to get up to come to go to Burger King, you should be able to do that. So I think that is very important, and I hope the other candidates that are going for VP, student services, president, whatever, are hearing you and understand that there are other issues that are important, not just the main campus students, but students for other faculty, other campuses, right?
Yes, I agree with you, Dr. McGregor. I can recall the first time I've ever seen any sort of student representation from the union was last year around election time when Mr. Darby and his team had come to the campuses to do a campus walk, and it was enlightening to me to know that we have these people that are put in positions, that are elected into these positions, and have completely ignored the satellite campuses. I know that it's not right across the street and you might have to take a few taxis to get there, but it does not mean that we're not there and that we should not be included in conversations regarding access to meals and other facilities at these campuses.
Yes, good. Yes.
And my final question is, what is reinstatement?
Reinstatement as it regards to students coming back into their programs? All right. So, reinstatement, if I can recall correctly, has to do with persons who have chosen to take a leave of absence from the university, going through all those proper channels, and know that their leave of absence has been completed, they will now have to be reinstated into their programs.
Thank you very well.
All right, no problem. So I don't have a lot of questions. This is giant colleges. I know giant colleges. I don't have a lot of questions. But my questions to you, right? How will you get the DMD student to take part in your events that you are talking about? You have a lot of events that you're talking about, and the DMD students believe that the school come first and work, work, work. How will you get not to have 2 and 3 people at your events?
That is a lovely question. As a DMD student myself, and as a former DMD student yourself, as well as a former Joint Colleges representative, I believe that we're used to these issues. DMD is the most expensive module at the university. We do have a lot of courses doing. I believe we're doing over 200 credits in the 5 years that we are at the university. And it is hard to balance student life with your personal life as well as trying to get involved in the university. For example, the sciences team yesterday won second place at Sports Day, and we had 5 members of the DMD team winning 4 medals. We won 2 silver and 2 bronze medals yesterday. We actually have one of our 800-meter runners in the audience right now. So I don't think that DMD students are opposed to participating, but if you give them the opportunity to come out and participate in these things, give them a little incentive. Yes, I had to tell them that they might get free bun to come and eat and so, but it's all about inspiring persons to come out and represent. I know it's hard to be patriotic when you have so many modules doing, so many quotas to meet. But at the end of the day, your school life cannot be your entire life. Hard work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So we need to have all our students out and participating. I know that we have some Ludo enjoyers and domino enjoyers at dental school. I see us playing dominoes under the gazebo sometimes. We have a little domino stashed away somewhere over there. So it's not that persons are unwilling. We just need to give them the opportunities to interact with persons within the joint colleges.
Okay. My last question to you, right? How will you like level the playing field in terms of at the dental school? When you talk about dental student, people think that you're talking about the dentist student, the DMD. And when you talk about giant college, people think you're talking about the dental campus and so forth. How will you ensure that everybody feel equally appreciated, everybody feel equally recognized when because you're representing everybody. You're representing assistants, you're representing the public health, environmental health. Ash, you're representing everybody. How will you ensure that everybody feel adequately represented and adequately prioritized?
Well, I'd love to implement um, more opportunities for our students to mingle. As I said, we'll be having games day and other social activities to really level the playing field and let persons know that this is not just dentists UTech is producing. We're also producing some public health inspectors. We're producing environmental health inspectors as well. We just need to get to a place where the entire university is able to see JCOL as it is and not just as dental school, not just as public health. We need our JCOL students to come together and be crocs, because it's one crocs, you know, everybody. So just more opportunities for persons to familiarize themselves with each other and also participate in events here on the main campus like sports day and interfaculty debates, etc. So just giving more opportunities for students to be visible will mitigate that problem.
All right, thank you. But as I said, in terms of ensuring that you have adequate representation and nobody feel left out, you can just ensure that you have public health people in the committee.
Oh,
one of the
definitely.
I'm saying that's one of the easiest ways to ensure that people know that yes, you have everybody on the committee and all that. That's one of the first things I was expecting. But yes, what you said also is the long term and what you can do, where you want to get to. But thank you.
Yes, and we can't get to where we need to be without that committee.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Questions from the audience?
Okay. Are you aware that there is currently no canteen or food station at Slipen for students who stay there for maximum of 6 hours? What are your plans to address these issues?
Thank you for not being shy today, Alexia. Yes, I am aware of the lack of canteen issue. I know it's been happening since August 2024, and I have been in dialogue with the head of school, Dr. Harvey, and I will say that the last conversation we had included us saying that the deadline that they were given to have somebody there as a food vendor was the first week of April. That would have been this week, but conversations with the council have indicated that there are some legal issues that they're trying to work out. We have procured a food vendor. The facilities at the public health are well equipped. The food vendor needed a freezer in there that has been bought, that has been equipped there. So now we're just waiting on these legal issues to be sorted. But unfortunately, I won't be able to say anything further.
Okay. The student Wi-Fi doesn't work. What are the ideas you have to get that fixed?
When you say it doesn't work, you mean there's no signal, or is it that you're having an issue logging on to the Wi-Fi? There's no signal. Is it specific to any areas of the campus? Just generally? Just generally? Okay, so I'm going to write that down so that we can look into possibly getting some new modems installed at the school. And that should help with that issue.
So there's a point of information just before we move forward to the next question.
So the point of information is on the first question that was asked regarding the food vendor at the joint colleges. So the Students' Union has engaged a concessionaire. We did a walkthrough and we're currently waiting the university president to do the sign off on the contract so that the concessionaire can begin renovating so that they can open operations at the public health school.
Thank you.
Second year and third year students are required to complete 104 hours of practicum, and many of us have to return to our home parishes to do so. meaning that we have to miss our face-to-face classes to complete it. And as a result, we're losing participation marks as well as information that are required for examination. Are you aware of this issue?
No, I haven't been made aware of this issue, but in trying to tackle that issue, is it the students that decide to return to their home parishes, or does the school input these? Does the school assign you to these areas?
The school.
The school. So I assume it's for environmental health, right? So for environmental health, I really believe that the classes could be put online if it's a case where they're sending students to their home parishes, because having people go home to do their practicum hours and yet having class in person at Slight Pen Road in Kingston, that really doesn't make any sense, and I think that's a fault on the university, and I will bring that up in the next board meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. Afternoon, Nicole. So, on the council, essentially, we're all leaders. So, I'd like to know, what are you going to do to ensure that you have a functioning committee?
Thank you for that question, Shamir. So, when I will be putting together my committee, I will be streamlining the process. It's not going to be any fronting. Everybody has to come with their proposals and come ready to work. If you're not going to work, don't apply, because we're not here to joke out this thing. We cannot leave joint colleges the same way we came and joined it, because it's not going to work out for us. It's not going to work out for the persons that come after us either. So I plan to rigorously drill these candidates when they apply and ensure that they're not going to come with any tomfoolery.
All right, thank you. And one more thing. Are you familiar with your current terms of reference document?
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
And is there anything inside it that you would want to make an adjustment to?
Actually, yes. I honestly believe that the joint colleges would be better served by having a College of Oral Health representative and a School of Public Health and Health Technology representative as a separate entity, instead of one representative trying to represent two schools that are in completely different geographical areas, because I think that's where most of the disconnect in joint colleges comes from. You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Miss Clark, for your presentation. Give her a round of applause. All right, we'll be inviting now to the stage the candidate for CSA representative, Mr. Okere Williams.
Me can bet you half of them people are not even CSA rep. Me know, I've never seen CSA rep have so much.
It's the party hall chair, brother.
A famous quote from the writer Vince Lombardi is that the dictionary is the only place where success comes before work. Greetings to the panel, members of staff, and of course, greetings to the students. My name is Okiri Williams, and I am currently vying for the position of CSA student representative. Some of you may know me as a very jovial person, but you would also know that I am confident, competent, and hardworking. To me, the Caribbean School of Architecture is a canvas where the young, fresh minds of creatives and future leaders can come together to make their splash of color. CSA is a facility for different personalities to intertwine, and it is one of the few courses where students have a certain level of appreciation for each other's skills. Now, nearly at the completion of my second year, I consider myself deeply immersed into the CSA culture, which has allowed me to pinpoint areas where us as a school could improve on. But as Mahatma Gandhi once said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. I ensure that I challenge myself to take responsibility and not to wait for change, but to become it. So, at the end of my first year, I applied for 2 leadership positions: the Director of Fundraising and Finance for the CSA Representative Committee, and as a showcase organizer for the Caribbean Architecture Students Association. During my tenure as the Fundraising and Finance Director, I would have organized a cake sale and held multiple workshops with the aim of raising enough funds to purchase a microwave for CSA and to create a tea table. Additionally, for CASA, I would have helped with organizing over 6 showcases to help students develop their skills. With my drive for success, along with my motivations and aspirations, I wish to see CSA soar to what would be now deemed as unachievable. What are my goals for CSA? Firstly, I would like to lower the cost of materials and support students. I would do so by creating a CSA stationery, buying in bulk to sell materials to students at a cheaper cost, and also to increase the awareness of student services such as the Grace Food Bank. Additionally, I would like to upgrade the I would like to advocate for the improvement of studio facilities. This includes pushing for new chairs and desks to improve comfort and productivity. Along with this, I would like to strengthen the collaboration between CSA and SBLM, as we will be working in the professional world together. And lastly, I would like to expand internships and opportunities. This is one of my main initiatives that I will be pushing for CSA students, because some of us came straight out of high school and we wouldn't have had the chance to get real world experiences, especially as it relates to site visits, and seeing how things are usually built on site would greatly aid students with their projects, especially those that struggle with the technical support. How would I fund these initiatives? First, I would organize fundraising events such as games nights, cake and sushi sales, workshops, and football competitions. Also, I would seek sponsorships from major corporations to support key student needs. Lastly, why choose me, Akiri Williams, as your student representative? I have demonstrated determination and leadership, not just through words, but through action. I have fulfilled the roles of the position I currently hold, and through there are areas that I can definitely improve on. I view them as opportunities for growth and not limitations. But if you choose me as your CSA student representative, you will get quality and quantity. Join me now to make CSA greater. Don't be wary, vote or carry.
All right, thank you, Mr. Williams, for putting yourself forward as well as the sole candidates for this portfolio. My first question to you is, what current initiative that the current representative has introduced or has done that you want to continue?
Thank you. I would definitely like to continue CSA week because I believe that this week students can come together, they can plan events, and they can learn from each other for the betterment of their social life and also their academics.
All right, I'm going to ask you something from the handbook. If there's a breach or leakage of an examination paper, what category of academic misconduct would this fall under? Whether it's gross, major, or lesser offense.
Major.
I would say it's a gross offense.
Gross. Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Williams.
Good evening.
My first question to you would be, what will you do to ensure that you have the support and the participation of the CSA student in all the events that you wish to undertake? Why I'm saying that, how many CSA students is out here to support you now? I know that you have a big chair, but it's mostly for AQ students doing that right now, right? How much? Hold on there. No, hold on. Shh. Calm down. Stalwart. But, so, as I say, right, what I'm asking, everybody there is from CSA. Right? Answer that question and then answer the following question. So, those are CSA students.
No. I see a few CSA students are
05?
mixed. I can't really see. I wear glasses.
Oh,
so.
you say a few, but all right. So what can you do, as I said now, to get those support?
Okay. So I've really thought about this issue before even applying. How would I get CSA students to partake in the events, and how I would do so would be through incentives. The thing with CSA is that we have a very big workload, or some of the times our course can be overwhelming. Unless you provide CSA students with a good reason why they should go to the events and show them how it would benefit them and give them like a push or incentives, they won't really make themselves available.
So are you going to do that to
Yes.
get them to go? How are you going to do that?
Incentives. All right. I would show them by, for example, I'm going to answer your question by using an example. Okay, I saw that first years needed help with rendering workshop, and as a fundraising director, I saw that there was a need for a rendering workshop because a lot of them struggled with rendering. So instead of doing something like having a party, for example, where I know a lot of them want to show up, I center my events around stuff that they would actually do or partake in. And with providing incentives, let's say for the best renderer through that workshop, they would get a free meal, for example, or a T-square or something that they would really and truly benefit from their academics.
So for like events now that students have to go, like you would want them to get into like CSA football team or something like that. How are you going to get two persons out to represent your faculty or your school?
As it relates to other events such as football and
Social,
cheer,
social events.
social
Yeah,
events,
like football and to get those support.
students do actually partake in some of those events.
Okay, okay. My last question to you. Each school or academic unit has a sporting animal, right? So I'm going to ask you, what is the sporting animal for CSA, and do you think it's a good fit and why?
Okay, so the answer is a panther, and I believe so because this represents strength, and they're very agile. As we CSA students, given with our workload, we learn to pivot, and I would say yes, it
Yes.
does relate.
Yes, it was implemented because they're a very powerful animal that are mainly active at night. And that's what
And
the
that's it.
CSA. But yes, yes, yes. Good answer. Good answer. That is it for me.
Good night, Mr. Williams.
Good night.
Just want to start by saying thank you for putting yourself forward to represent your fellow students. My first question to you is regarding point one on your manifesto. Could you elaborate more on advocating for more spaces to be opened for the architecture students in the Grace Food Bank?
Okay. So, um, with this point, how I would do so would be to make connections or talk to the vice president of student services because he's in charge of building recognition for welfare. So in talking to him and with talking to the students while I was campaigning, I saw that a lot of them struggled financially and they would have needed help financially. So I would have looked for ways where they could possibly benefit um, from help. So, and I saw a food bank as a very good option. So I would advocate, as it relates to advocate, I would talk to the vice president of student services to ensure that CSA students can enroll or go for these food banks.
Okay, thank you. As it relates to that point, I would a suggestion is that you not well the food bank is controlled by the scholarship office. So in terms of partnering with the student services department, I would also suggest that you speak further in looking at the free look cupboard to see if one can be added there to the architecture building. I know that you have late night studying, so if one is placed there, then that would give you guys access, more access, but it's more so in terms of food that would be required for you to cook. So it's something that you can look further into to see where you can get dry options, because I know that you're there late in the night, so in terms of the option to cook wouldn't be so much of a feasible option for that. Regarding to negotiate the discounts on essential materials, have you started looking into those options in terms of the specific materials that you're looking for discounts on?
Yes. I started looking at main places where we buy materials such as the art center and Gav Imports where I could purchase materials in bulk.
Okay. No further questions from me.
Questions from the audience?
All right, so good evening, everyone. Good evening, Okiri. Thank you
Good
for
night.
choosing to represent CSA for the next academic year. So I have two questions for you. So the first one being, me and you both being on the previous representative body, what issues have you highlighted within the team that you will go about to and what issues have you highlighted and how would you go about preventing it on the coming representative team?
One of the biggest issues are where I see that we need improvement for that for our body. Was communication, where for events, I feel like if students were, or if communication was better, then we would have a better turnout, or would have um, better coordination as a group or as a body.
Okay, thank you. And the second one, in your manifesto, you mentioned about incorporating site visits and visits from firms and internships. So the question I have is, have you started building relationships with like various companies and or firms? Because you know it's not a overnight thing, and is it possible or something that you will be successful in implementing in the foreseeable tenure of yours?
Yes, I've started speaking to architects about this, and this is something that I know will take time because it's a big ask or it's a big thing to do. But yes, I've started speaking to architects, and I will push hard or try my best to make sure that at the end of my tenure, even if it wasn't successful, I would have at least laid the foundation for the next representative.
Okay, thank you.
Good night, everyone. All
Good
right,
night.
Mr. Williams, how are you? Again, thanks for putting yourself forward to serve as the future CSA rep, sir. I have two questions for you. Naturally being a CSA student and, late hours in the morning and nights and stuff, I want you to tell me, being a part of a dorm community, right, and serving on other important positions on the current or the outgoing committee, how did you manage your time? Because naturally, as our guests or panelists would have said, CSA is a heavy course, but as a student yourself, how would you suggest other students, being, a student yourself in that regard?
All right, good night, Shamario. Um, the biggest advice I can give you is to not procrastinate. As soon as you get a task, do it, especially studio work, because you know it's something that's very time consuming. That's how you'll find yourself being late for crits and not being successful, is when you push back your studio work. As soon as you get the brief, start it. And I would say you don't really know how to do something until you just do it, until you find something that works for you. Because something that may work for me, it probably wouldn't have worked for you. So you just have to do it and see where you can adapt to that situation and pivot, sorry.
One final question to you, Mr. Williams. Just before you go, with seeing CSA, partaking in several other activities such as cheerleading and sports day and so on, how do you see the current cohort of students participating in those events compared to previous years? Thanks.
With this being my second year, I would say that we've definitely improved with as it relates to showing out for events. So this academic year with the new students, I would say that you guys definitely improved.
There's no more questions.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Williams, for that presentation. We'll be moving on to our final representative candidates for tonight, and those are the candidates from the SHTM. Please welcome the first speaker, who will be Mr. Kanye Swaby. Following that will be Monique Reed and Dwayne Richards.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kanye Swaby, a previous student at the Yorkassa High School and now a proud UTech Knight pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Food Service Management. I am vying for the position of SHTM Student Representative. You may ask yourself, why vote for Kanye Swaby? Why vote for a first-year student? Well, for starters, I am respectful, responsible, dedicated, God-fearing, and overall a well-rounded individual. Upon my arrival at this university, I have witnessed and experienced some new, if not continuous, difficulties. Even though it is too late for my colleagues and I to change our first year experience, I want to make that change for the incoming batch of students. If I'm elected as your next SHTM students rep, my plans include, but not limited to: it is my intent to launch a SHTM first year experience program full of exciting events and forum. This program will enable and equip the incoming as well as current students with the necessary attributes and skills to be outstanding tourism and hospitality personnel on a global scale. This program entails knowing their way around the university campus, networked and build positive social relationships within the school as well as externally with potential employers and organizations. Hear the story and success of experienced individuals within the hospitality and tourism industry, as well as providing mentorship opportunities from these high-achieving hospitality individuals. Additionally, this program aims to enhance the overall experience when pursuing a degree in hospitality and tourism at UTech, making it not only about academics, but also having fun. It is a well-known fact that not everyone is privileged in the race of life. Some people are given a head start while others are born with the medals and trophies. And some persons start at and even behind the starting line. When elected, it will be one of my points of duty to empower and offer help to those at or behind that starting line, offering external flexible working opportunities as the university earn and study program cannot accommodate everyone. I hope to also offer financial aid through sponsorship and establish a welfare program exclusively for SHTM students, increasing their overall chances of obtaining a degree. Another thing that I would do in my tenure is to have an SHTM week. This week is to promote mental wellness, giving students a chance to de-stress and rejuvenate. This week, we will give back to the university community, host events which will also be used as fundraising events, plan a church visit, market and promote our school, and honor our hard-working staff within the School of Hospitality and Tourism Management. It is also my intent to renovate and redecorate the SHTM Student Lounge. To fund this, I will seek sponsorship and host fundraising events. I will also install a suggestion box inside the lounge because your ideas and concern matters. I will also collaborate with the nearest health centers, the nearest health center to have food handlers permit done within the School of Hospitality and Tourism Management. So instead of us going to them, they will come to us. I will also try my best to have these permits valued for 4 years instead of us renewing it every year. Finally, I will give recognition and award to students for their academic excellence and their involvement in extra co-curricular activities. This initiative will allow students to improve and perform well because encouragement strengthens labor. Kanye is not concerned only about votes, but also about making a change. I encourage all students at the School of Hospitality and Tourism Management on April 9 to 11, 2025 to vote for Kanye Swaby for your next School of Hospitality and Tourism Management Students Representative. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. It's truly an honor to stand before you today as we work together to shape a stronger, more dynamic School of Hospitality and Tourism Management. We all know that our school is more than just a faculty. It's a family, a network, a launchpad for our future. That's why I am dedicated to ensuring that each student not only succeed academically, but also thrive personally and professionally. Today, I present to you SHTM Level Up, a vision for excellency, welfare, and engagement. A plan designed to elevate our experience, strengthen our community, and prepare us for a future. Academic excellency, SHTM Level Up. Suc- Success begins with knowledge grows when we support each other. That's why I propose the SHTM Exam Bank and Study Resources Hub, a digital database filled with past paper and key study material. Imagine having access to an organized resources that help us study smarter, not harder. Beyond material, we need guidance. The SHTM Academic Support Desk will provide weekly drop-in help session for module selection. We will collaborate with lecturer and alumni to hosting tutoring session for those challenges courses that keep us up at night. But education isn't just about passing exam. Through skill development workshop, we will strengthen key skills such as report writing, research method, and public speaking, along with critical ability in our industry. And for those wondering what path to take, SHTM Specialization and Career Pathway Clinic will connect students with faculty and alumni, guiding us towards the right major and career path based on our ambition. Let's talk about an idea that blend relaxation, sustainability, and hands-on learning. The SHDM rooftop garden. Imagine transforming our third floor into a green oasis where we can unwind, engage in eco-friendly practices, and build a more sustainable SHDM. Welfare and well-being, stronger together. Academic success is impossible without well-being. That's why we must revitalize our student lounge and common area, ensuring they are comfortable, functional, and inviting. Additionally, we will introduce an SHTM mentorship program where experienced third year, fourth, and final year students guide first and second year, offering advice on classes, assignments, and university life on a whole, as well as internship. A strong support systems make all the difference. To showcase our care, we will prepare SHTM care package filled with exam essentials such as pen, stress ball, and snack bar to help students push through their finals. And for students in need, we will launch donation drive for school supplies and toiletries. Finally, we need a place to be heard. The SHTM check-in booth will serve as a weekly help station where students can discuss academic struggles and personal well-being. By partnering with the UTech Career and Placement Unit, we will also bring in alumni and professionals to offer career advice. Lastly, the engagement, the SHTM experience. SHTM isn't just about academics, sorry. It's about experience that build lifelong connection. Let's kick things off with the SHTM After Dark, an evening of a networking event blending music, game, and career insights where students engage with professionals in a fun and relaxed environment. We will also host monthly social and games night for trivia to karaoke to our very own Hospitality Olympics, featuring fun challenges in cooking, customer service, and tourism knowledge. To celebrate our diverse culture, we introduce Taste the Culture, a global food and hospitality festival where we will highlight international cuisine across all platforms, showcasing world flavor, cooking demonstration, and cultural performance. This event will not only celebrate Caribbean hospitality, but also promote global culinary experience, embracing the rich diversity of the hospitality industry. And for the culinary and mixology enthusiasts, Rep Your Chef will be the ultimate showcase of talent. Students will compete in cooking and mixology contests judged by top chef and industry professionals, offering valuable exposure and networking opportunities. Finally, to unwind and celebrate our achievement, SHTM Beach and Chill. We will This will be our end of semester wellness retreat and a day of relaxation, team building activity, and an unforgettable memory. To close, SHTM is more than just a faculty. It's a community through academic support, well-being initiative, and meaningful engagement. We can create an environment where everyone thrives. Let's work together to level up SHTM and make it a place where every student has the resources, support, and opportunity they need to succeed. Together we rise, together we thrive. Let's level up SHTM. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dawn Hay Richards, and it is truly a pleasure to stand before you as a candidate for student representative for the School of Hospitality and Tourism Management. Can I be honest for a minute? We have all heard or said phrases like, me tired, me can't bother, me can't wait for graduate UTech. Me just can't bother. Can I be honest for a minute? We have all heard or said phrases like, me tired of UTech, me can't bother, me can't wait for graduate. Who me figure to, what should I do? Or as we like to say now, me crash out. These aren't just mere jokes. They are reflections of a real frustration and a system that often leaves us feeling unheard and unsupported. I know what it feels like to feel overwhelmed and confused, not knowing where to turn to. And it is for this reason I am running for student representative to change the conversation and represent your voice. I want us to go from feeling helpless to feeling empowered, informed, and connected. My mission? To create a space where every student feels seen, heard, and valued, and to help make UTech a place where we thrive, not just survive. This campaign is about you, your needs, your voice, and your future. Rise with Richards, listening, leading, representing you. What I will fight for as your student representative: transparency and accountability. I will ensure that as students, you are aware of every resource available to you, know who exactly to go to, and most importantly, I will be there with you every step of the way. I will also ensure that lecturers and staff alike are held accountable. After all, this is a university, not a dictatorship. We deserve respect and communication. Secondly, I will enhance practical learning. As hospitality and tourism students, we need more than theory. I will advocate for a better equipped labs and spaces so we can gain real hands-on training and to be industry ready. I will also be working on academic support and grading reform. I will advocate for revising the accounts grading system from 50-50 to 60-40. I have heard your concerns about how challenging and unfair it seems for such a demanding course to have a grading structure where only 50% is coursework. I will also introduce free tutoring programs because I am a firm believer of leaving no one behind. I will also improve course selection and academic guidance. I will make course selection easier by advocating for more academic guidance to streamline the process. And for my fellow transfer students, as a fellow transfer student myself, I will ensure that you are aware of all the courses to be exempt from, the necessary steps to take to ensure a smooth transition academically and socially. And lastly, I will ensure student life and wellness. I will bring back balance and fun. I will organize cookouts, socials to help relax and build community. I will also propose a hospitality and tourism networking program, a space to connect with industry professionals and build future opportunities. I am not here to promise perfection, but I am here to promise presence. I have felt overlooked and frustrated too. And I know what it is like. That is why I am stepping up, not just to speak, but to listen, not just to promise, but to deliver. Vote for me, Dawn Hay Richards, and let's build a better student experience. Rise with Richards. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Good evening to you all three. I just want to say thank you for putting yourselves forward to represent your fellow students. My first question is, I'm looking through all your manifestos, but for the most part, there isn't any part regarding advocacy. It's mainly events and initiatives. Only one person I'm seeing listing anything about advocacy. Why is that the case? Is it that SHTM students have no issues? So, just repeating the question, in looking through your manifestos, I'm realizing that only one candidate has a point on advocacy. All other candidates, it's all about events and initiatives. Is it that you're saying SHTM students are faced with no issues that you need to advocate for them? As a representative, one of your primary roles is to advocate for your fellow students. So why is that the case that on your manifestos there are no points regarding advocacy?
Good night. Thank you so much for that question. I would have stated in my speech just now that one of the main reasons why I feel that it is fit for me, to run for this position is because as a I'm third year student, but I transferred, so I went to community college before. And when I transferred, I had an issue with the courses and just trying to get into a module, and I knew no one to turn to. I was the one who had to fight for it myself, and had I not been a person who knows about God, I would have given up, and I felt really bad. I wanted to quit. It was really a horrible experience, and it is for that reason, that specific reason, that I want to speak up for others. I want no one, absolutely no one, to experience what it is that I went through dealing with that selection process. And not just that, but issues in general within our faculty.
I had so yes, we have issues. I have spoken with multiple students and I've hear their concerns, and I want to be that solution for them. I have put some initiative in place on my manifesto relating to their challenges. So yes, free, for that part, yeah.
Good night. Can you repeat the question again, please?
In short terms, the question is, why is there no point on advocacy on your manifesto?
Well, to be honest, I've been receiving a lot of issues from what students face, but I really and truly didn't want to make a promise that I will unable to keep. And as mentioned in my manifesto, I will implement a suggestion box, and when the students give their issues and their concerns, I will try my best to address them as best as possible.
All right, thank you for that. Have any of the three of you been on the SHTM rep body before?
No.
No.
All right, and my final question: from all the plans that you have on your manifesto, which would you make? Which would you say is the most important and why?
Thank you for that question. For me, it's the SHTM mentorship program to help a lot of the first year and second year with university life on a whole and selecting modules because some students are not, they have struggles, challenges as well. So the mentorship program is for me the biggest one for them to kind of have a bit of understanding of how to navigate in the university life.
Good night again. Thank you for that question. So while all my points are valid, I think the most important point that I've listed on my manifesto is accountability and transparency. I believe as students, especially within the SHTM faculty, the teachers, the persons who are set above us, who are supposed to lead us and guide us and make this university experience simpler, they are not being held accountable. And as such, it oftentimes feel like a dictatorship. And I'm not just speaking about me, I'm speaking about the experiences and concerns that students would have voiced. So for example, we are given a coursework and we have 2 weeks to submit it. And when we do submit it, we're waiting for 4 weeks, a month, 6 weeks to receive the grade. And when we reach out, just in error, is it a reason why we haven't received the grades? We're faced with concerns like, oh, I have other courses marking and stuff like that. So I believe that with accountability and transparency, teachers will behave better and those set above us will behave better. And in doing so, this will help to improve all the other points that I would have stated on my manifesto. Thank you.
For me, it is the first year experience program because as first year students, we are not properly mentored, and due to this, we make bad decisions which have us being led back spending 6, 7 years doing the course.
All right, so my question is to Monique. You mentioned a live demo in your manifesto. How will that be done and where will it be done? Is it in the theater?
No, in the hotel next to the SHTM faculty, the live demo is to give the customers or students a more realistic experience of the students cooking and for the cultural diversity as well. So show them how is it being prepared and so forth.
How will you fund the SHTM rooftop gardening project?
So having fundraising initiative as well as seeking sponsorships and grants.
Okay, thank you. Kawin? Kani, sorry. Walk me through the withdrawal process from a module. How do you withdraw from a module?
Can you repeat that?
How do you withdraw from a module? What's the process like?
Which means like to a job.
No, you're doing the course and you want to withdraw. It's beyond. Mhm.
I'm not quite sure, but I'm not quite sure to answer that question.
Monique?
For the withdrawal process is when a student is seeing that they won't be able to pass it. So if it's within 2 weeks, they can either go to either admissions or administration and sign a form for the withdrawal, as and they will get a percentage of the money back as well. If it's later down in the semester and they request it, they won't be able to get back anything, any of the money.
Ms. Richards.
So I'm supposed to answer for the withdrawal. So just to clarify, you're not asking about a drop. You're not asking if we want to drop a course. You're asking if we want to withdraw.
Correct.
So you're asking if we want to withdraw from a course. So if it is a case, as Moni could have stated just now, if it is a case that you want to withdraw from a course and you have gone already 2 weeks ahead, you can go and sign a form officiating your withdrawal. And if it is too late, not to just, stop going to the class, you can still go ahead and sign the form. It will just be a case of you not getting back any of your funds.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Good evening.
Good evening.
All candidate. Are you guys aware that you're supposed to be on the dorm for summer? For the students union to be on the students union to help out throughout the summer semester?
Yes, I'm aware.
You're not aware?
I know that we have activities to do in the summer. So I am aware of the fact that we have activities to do in the summer, which I'm willing to do. I just wasn't aware that being on the dam was a part of it.
Okay, so you all three of you would make yourself available for the summer semester if selected, right? If elected.
Yes.
Yes?
I'll try.
You'll try.
Yes, I will.
Oh, so it's a try, not a short thing then. Okay. My question is, what individual support or what specific support from you guys school would you provide the students union council if selected? So what would you offer special from your school that could aid or assist the students union in achieving its goals? Each can answer. Any other?
So, what I would offer is, I would say a breakfast cookery program, because sometimes students come into the university life not knowing how to cook. So I would have a breakfast cookery program so that students can know how to cook at least a breakfast meal.
Okay, so for me, I've already been doing this, so I would just implement it on a larger scale. So for high failure courses such as financial management and accounting too, where these courses are challenging, I would continue to offer support on a larger scale, that is for students who are struggling with these courses. So I will do so by providing free tutoring session. All they would be required to do is show up.
And as I have in my manifesto, the SHDM exam bank, I would have ask the faculty, the administration office for some key materials, as well as go to the library for some of the past papers for the students and put them on a digital database, and as well as going to some of the lectures, as well as asking some alumni to come and give some tutoring sessions to some of the students who are having difficulties.
All right. My next question to you guys is this. As what the same question I asked the guy from CSA, what sport animal represent your school? Do you think it fits it, and why?
The sports animal is Scorpio, and it doesn't fit it. I don't see. Oh, It's Scorpio, and I don't think it fits it. It has nothing to really do with it. As they say, as the stigma goes, SHTM students don't like changes, and as for me, I want to make a difference for that, and I want to change that mindset that we need to change and have a better image.
All right. Okay.
The animal is a scorpion, and I don't think it fits.
Speak for
The animal is a scorpion, and I don't think it fit. It fits the school because I don't think it has anything to do with us SHGM students.
Thank you for that question. So the animal that currently represents our faculty is the scorpion. And for me, I don't think it represents the faculty well. What I would do though is change it to, and the animal I would suggest going forward would be a lion. Not just, and this is so because as SHTM individuals, we are required to speak up, to be loud, to be heard, to make our voices heard, to interact with persons. So that is the animal that I would suggest.
you know that law have lion already, right? You can't really repeat. So law has lion, so lion would be out of it. But I hear you. All three of you think that it's not suitable to you. Okay. All right. My last question is each candidate. If there's one thing on all your manifesto that you think you want to achieve, if you don't achieve anything that is what you want to achieve, what would it be? Any other?
Thank you for that question. I want to achieve the SHDM mentorship program. Earlier, I stated that first and second year students, they are unaware of certain things. They don't know how to navigate in the university life as well as career path. Some students struggle and they are unaware of most of the things that are offered at UTech. That's it.
One point that I would love to be get done is the food handler's permit. As the question mentioned before, this will not only benefit SHCM students, it will also benefit students from other college and faculties, especially those who host fundraising events that have food, so they can participate in the food handlers training and classes so that they can be properly certified when handling food.
Okay, so for me, if I achieve no other goal on my manifesto, one goal that I am definitely aiming to achieve is transparency and accountability. I want to ensure that the persons who are set above us are held accountable for their actions and how they treat us as students, to ensure that in this university we don't feel as if our lecturers or the staff members within the faculty feel as if it is a dictatorship where what they say goes and we don't have a voice. Thank you.
All right, no problem. That's it for me.
Okay, so good night, everyone. My question is to Kanye, and it's read the food handler's permit. Are you aware that that is already a program that is implemented and that it has its issues?
Thank you for that question. Yes, I am aware, and in fact, I was aware this evening, and the individual told me that she didn't tell me that it's implemented, She told me that it was a plan and there were some issues. And what I plan to do is to reassure the plan and try my best to have the issues from the past being resolved.
Good night, everybody. So my question is towards Monique. So do you know what a SHTM representative is?
Yes.
And as a representative, you know that you should be the one that should be able to lead, set example, and for us to follow.
Yes.
Okay, so based on observation, and your manifesto is okay, it's cool, but based on observation, as a representative, you want somebody who is able to lead, such as wearing uniform and representing us good. And based on observation, what is it you're going to put in place to implement that? Because based on observation, I never see you in a uniform or anything.
Thank you for that question. I do wear my uniform, though for this semester there was no need for that currently. I understand what you're saying though, but in other instances, it just didn't really require me because I didn't have any courses for that for this semester.
Thank you.
All right, my question is to Mr. Swaby. All right, so the issue, I've participated in that food handlers permit program, and one of the issues is that you don't know if you pass the test or if you fail. How would you go ahead and solve that issue?
Sorry, before you answer, another issue also is that when people pay to do the test, sorry. Yes, another issue also with it is that when people pay to do the test, they don't get to do the test because they are unaware of when the test is being held, if anything. So please to elaborate on how you would fix these issues. Thank you.
Hold on. I'm going to ask you to repeat the question, but I'm going to answer hers first. All right. So when I did my food handler's permit last year, I did it in St. Anne, and the test was marked right in front of me at the same time. So I will ensure that it's the same thing happens when the program is implemented in our school. Yes. Go ahead.
So, yes, it is marked in front of you, but the main issue that I have seen as a UTech student who has done the program and I still am yet to receive my food handler's permit is that you don't know when the test is. There is no transparency as to when you are going to get to do the test. If the information was relayed, and when I went to do my food handlers last year, I got to realize that if you go to the office with your student ID, you can get a student food handler's permit that is 4 years. So it is convenient to have them come here, but how are you going to fix the issue that people are saying that they have paid from the start of the semester and have still yet to receive even information about doing their test because persons have been asking and to either refund them their money or let them do the test. So how are you going to fix that problem?
Well, the only thing I can say is I will try my best to put the best plans in place to make this plan effective. And if I collect your money and the plan is not working, all I have to do is reimburse you. That's all I can do.
Those are the final questions. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys. Can you exit the stage? Alright, this ends the first day of our elections firing line series. We want to thank all candidates for showing up and taking this step in vying to represent their faculties or colleges. And we encourage all students to stay tuned to the union's page so that they and the elections page so that you can keep up to date with the elections process and campaigning period. The second staging of firing line is Monday, April 7, 2025, where we will hear from our second set of representative candidates. And then we'll hear from our executives on Tuesday. Thank you once more and good night.